Hello and welcome to the Anxious Knitter podcast. My name is Joy, and I'm the Anxious Knitter. I'm so anxious that not only have I had the habit of crossing the street when not so menacing looking strangers are walking near me, but also when there's any kind of roadwork or construction, because I don't know what to do. What if I'm not allowed to walk there? Then they have to tell me that I can't walk there, and then it's embarrassing. Probably I could just walk down the street normally, but better safe than sorry, right? Anyway, you're here for episode 26? Is it episode 26 or 27? I don't know, but it already said it on the screen, so I guess it doesn't matter. Like I said, my name is Joy, and I'm coming to you from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada, where I live with my husband Luke and our dog Opie. This is a podcast mostly about knitting, but occasionally about crochet, spinning, dyeing, and whatever other crafty thing catches my fancy at the moment. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. It means a lot to me that you want to spend a bit of your day with me, and that I'm not just, talking to nobody. It's really cool to have you guys to talk to and to really feel like I'm talking to you. And if you're brand new, just stumbling on my little corner of the internet for the first time, welcome. I hope you find something that you like and you stick around. If not, it was nice seeing ya. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I'm good. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know if you guys are experiencing this, but we just got another heat wave, and I'm over it. I'm done with it, guys. I don't want it anymore. I'm tired of being sweaty. I'm tired of t-shirts and tank tops and shorts. I want pants, and I want sweaters, okay? I'm done. I'm done. The weather is not done, though. So here I was thinking, oh man, when I finally get to sit down and record another podcast, I'll be able to wear my Veronica cardi, and it'll be cute, or maybe I can wear a shawl. No, I can't, because it feels like 33 degrees Celsius out there, and I have the air conditioner running on full force, and it's not doing anything. You're probably just going to watch me getting progressively shinier and shinier as this whole thing goes on, and by the end of it, I'm just going to be like Edward Cullen, but less diamonds and more sweaty. Anyway, hope you guys have had a great week. I did 2 weeks. Do I already have it on my teeth? Oh, guys, this is real life. Do you know, sorry, I'm gonna get back to what I was gonna say, but I always look at YouTubers, particularly beauty and makeup YouTubers and their beautiful lipstick, and watching their tutorials, and I'm they're just and then I put on my red lipstick, and they just swipe it on, and I'm like, no, you can't be just swiping it on and then leaving the house. That's not how does it stay? How does it not get all over everything? I blot to Kingdom Come, and it still gets on my teeth, gets everywhere. It's probably gonna be I'm gonna look like Dracula by the end of this. Oh, Luke just sent me a song rec. Thanks, Luke. I'll listen to that later. Yeah, so I don't remember what I was going to say before anyway, so let's just keep going. I'm very caffeinated, and I feel that it's coming through. Sorry if that's weirding people out. No, I meant to record last week several times. But then I didn't, because I meant to record, but I didn't because my face exploded with blemishes, which not the end of the world. However, these blemishes were so painful that it I could just feel it throbbing all the time. It just hurt all the time. I was icing my face, basically. Not basically. I was actually just icing my face on the regular. So the idea of sitting in front of a camera and talking while my face was aching did not appeal to me. And then that passed, and then I was I can record today. And then I woke up, and my eye, I think it's better now, was bright red from allergies, and I took allergy meds and it didn't help, and I didn't have allergy eye drops, so I looked like Frankenstein's creature, like I don't know, like, or Igor or something, like, and I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to see that, particularly in the intro close-up. It would have been heinous, so I just let that one ride out, and I now have eye drops, and everything is okay. So now I'm back, and I'm very happy to be here. I have so much to talk about, and there was other things that I was thinking I wasn't going to have a lot to talk about, and then stuff just kept kind of, like, happening and compiling, and I have an extra segment I might do if I'm not too long today, because it is, I've been officially knitting for 1 year, so I thought it would be funny to, like, go back and look at my very first projects, but we'll see if I have time for that today, because I don't want to be going for too long, but yeah, so quick overview of what we're going to be going over today. I'm sorry. I love this shirt, but maybe not with the undergarments I'm wearing today. I've got Knitters Fair, KW Knitters Fair stuff to talk about, some acquisitions from that. I've got some spinning. I've got some works in progress I'm really excited about. I've got a new craft. I've got 2 giveaway prizes today. So that's exciting. I'll get more about those later, and some news from the cabinet, which is about the hand-dyed yarns and accessories shop that Luke and I are opening, and I've gotten quite a few messages asking about when that is happening, and I will be telling you that today after the dweeb story. So, speaking of which, let's stop yibber-yabbering, it's not a word, and get into our first segment, which is, of course, my dweeb story of the week. Dweeb story of the fortnight, really, but anyway. So, I'm just gonna get right into it. My mom had texted me and Luke to tell us that this chef, Lynn Crawford, probably a lot of you have heard of her, she's awesome, was going to be doing a signing for her new book at the Chapters location, which is like our Barnes & Noble, really close to where Luke and I live, so we were like, yeah, we'll come for sure. She's like, it's next Thursday, I'll be there at like 6:45. I was like, cool. So we get there, and like Luke and I get there, and the parking lot's pretty empty. It seemed kind of weird considering, you know, she's a pretty big deal. And we go in, and like I'm looking around, and I can't really see where she's going to be set up. I'm like, maybe they're running late. But, like, nobody looks like they're about to start an event, so we're just kind of wandering around. My mom gets there, and she's like, Joy, I'm so sorry. We're a week early. Look. And she holds up her phone with the, like, ad, which she had sent me, I'm pretty sure, and she had sent Luke. And I'm like, Mom, no, we're a month early. A month. It says October on here, Mom. Come on. No, it was funny. So we all ended up at this location a month before the event actually took place. So, I mean, it was fun. We walked around the bookstore together, and that was cool, but there was no Lynn Crawford, and now we have to make that outing a second time. Yeah. So, not a super, like, crazy dweeb story. Like I said, last week's dweeb story was, I think, my magnum opus of dweeb stories. Magnus opus? Magnum opus? Whatever. It's my masterwork, okay? Everything is just gonna feel like it pales in comparison. Until I do something real wickedly bad. And the day will come, folks, I'm sure. Okay, anyway. Let's get into some of the other stuff. Let's jump into Hear Ye, Hear Ye. Holy crap. Oh my god. There's a giant ass bug. I thought it was inside. I'm pretty sure it's outside. Oh, gross. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I have a couple announcements. The first is, this is also a dweeb story. I realized that, I had closed the Keep Calm and Brioche Along thread, and I never announced a winner. So, now almost a month later, I'm going to announce the winner for the Keep Calm and Brioche Along, which was so much fun. I loved watching your guys' progress, and yeah, it was just, I don't know, I was like really excited to see so many people trying it for the first time, because like I know, like I was there. When I tried brioche for the first time, like it was so scary until you kind of got the hang of it. But your projects turned out beautiful. Whether or not they're finished, they were just gorgeous. And of course, you didn't need a finished object to be eligible to win. I just wanted you guys to try something new, and you rose to the occasion. And in case you did not already know, I opened a continuation thread so that we can continue to chat about our brioche projects. But there's obviously no prizes included. And now I can join in. But anyway, so the prize for that is this beautiful skein of Wild Happy Color in the Bali colorway, which is, this is actually showing up really beautifully on the screen right now. It just, doesn't it look like a beach? It'll be nice. For those of you who prefer summer weather to fall, this will keep the summer going for you. But it also comes with a sweet little maple leaf stitch marker for you, and a coupon for 10% off in her shop. So, which I'm pretty sure I gave that coupon to everybody, but just so you know, it's there. Yeah, so that's the prize, and I swear I will be so much better about sending these out, okay? I felt so bad for sending everything out so late. Sorry, crinkle crackle. But anyway, the winner for that lovely, lovely skein of yarn, sorry, I think I had stuff on my teeth again, was, and I used random.org to choose just before I started filming, is post number 8, who is Lady Wing Designs, who is Zakia. I hope I said that right, Zakia. Congratulations. So get in touch with me on Ravelry or Instagram, whatever's easiest for you, and I will get that sent over to you as soon as you get me your post information. So yay, congratulations, and congratulations on your beautiful brioche. Yeah, so the next giveaway sort of thing, and an announcement I want to share, which is technically also news from the cabinet. Okay, why are there so many bugs on my sliding door? That's gross. I don't like that. Okay. Anyway. So, I did share a bit last week about how I've been procrastinating out of fear and self-doubt, which I decided, you know, that needs to stop now. So we decided we're just going to set a date to open. And that date is next Monday, which I believe is the 25th. Let me just double check. Yes. So we will be opening the shop on Monday, September 25th, and I think it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern time, just because I want Luke to be able to be there when, you know, we put everything up. So I will post a reminder on Instagram. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram at cabinetof.curios. But yeah, and to celebrate that, we are going to do a giveaway. So if you do not know, Cabinet of Curios is not only hand-dyed yarns, but it's also bags, which Luke has sewn, and stitch markers, which I have hand sculpted and painted. So we are going to give away this insect bag. You can see both sides. This one's got, I feel like, more botanical stuff, but, just so you know, all of the bags are going to come with a little antique key, stitch marker / pull tab. You can use it for whatever you want. You will also get this skein of yarn in our dried lavender colorway. And I'm sure you can see, you will also get a little Amanita mushroom stitch marker. And you can see here's our logo, our little label. So yeah, so you can enter to win this. I will put a thread up in the Anxious Knitter Ravelry group. And I will, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put that up today. So by the time this goes up, the thing will be up. And the prompt, sorry, I'm really itchy. Everyone just keeps messaging me. Guys, leave me alone. I keep losing my train of thought. The prompt will probably be something along the lines of, tell me about something kind of odd and like an odd and fun object that you found or owned or something like that. Something to do with the theme of the shop. I will word it obviously more eloquently in the message board. And what I will do is I'm going to pick the winner on Friday and let that person know. And I will announce it on the podcast as well, just for fun, but I will directly message that person on Friday, just in case, because you never know, someone might have been planning to buy something, and you know, if they like were planning to buy this, like one of these things, or one of the bags, or this colorway, or whatever, then they know that they don't have to, and they can choose something else if they so desire. So, yes. So you will be getting these lovely objects. Be a lovely little package for you, and I hope you guys have fun answering the prompt, whatever it ends up being. So yeah, I think, oh, and there is one more announcement. So we have one other knit along that is technically over now. It's the West Knits Cal, and I know I have not put up a finished objects thread, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up the finished objects thread, and I'm gonna leave it open for 1 week, so you will have until next Monday or Tuesday. I will close that. So if you have, you know, been trying to finish and you haven't quite gotten there, you're gonna have an extra week. I just feel like that's fair because I've been behind and I get it. Like, you know, life happens, right? So you have 1 more week. So try and get those objects done and get them posted. Yeah, so that's it for announcements. And that means we can get into the knitting portion of things. Yay! Okay, so in terms of finished... Oh, I didn't do my thing. It's time for finished objects. Okay. I don't really have too much to talk about here. I finished plying up another chunk of my Briar Rose BFL. I used my Nitty Naughty, my handmade Nitty Naughty, which is made out of copper pipe and costs less than $10. And it worked like a charm. To be fair, Luke did the winding. I was too nervous to do it, but yeah, so it's a little bit more of a normal size skein. The ones I was making were like super, super tiny. Ooh, just got a hiccup. No, Luke, I did not listen to the song. I'm talking to my camera. Gosh. Yeah. So again, still thick and thin, but I'm pretty pleased with it. I think I have about 170 yards in total now. So I think probably by the time everything is spun and plied, I will have maybe just over 200 yards of this stuff roughly, which I still think is pretty good considering that I was not super, you know, adept at the beginning, and I don't know, it it looks so cute and it's very squishy and soft. So there's that. I have, where did it go? Technically this is a half finished object. I just have not sewn in any ends. You guys haven't even seen this before. I had some Patton's worsted weight lying around, and I wanted to knit something with it. So I decided to make some worsted weight socks for, you know, when the weather gets cold, if it ever does. So here, hold on. So here it is. I used the blueberry waffle pattern, and I do not remember the name of the designer. My bad. I will put that up here, of course. But yeah, so I used just like a medium/dark gray, and then this one, which is called, I think, Natural Heather or Natural Mix or something, but it's definitely pink. But I have seen other balls of this, like other lots that are less pink, but it's very, very pretty. I've been thinking about doing a bobble, like, cowl, or one of those, like, ones with the sheep on it, but I don't know, I just felt like I wanted cozy socks. I always like the ones that they sell at Chapters. I don't know, if those of you in Canada probably know what I mean. Maybe they sell them at Barnes & Noble too, I don't know. But they're like the reading socks, and they're like big, thick socks, and they have like faux Sherpa lining and whatever. But obviously this doesn't have lining. I kind of want to do a thrummed pair of like slipper socks, but I don't know. This is kind of my version of it. It definitely is pretty big. I wanted to do, because it calls for 2x2 ribs so that it like matches up, right? The pattern matches. And I didn't have a small enough needle, and I have rather shapely calves. So the stitch count I was calling for, or whatever, just was not going to fit me. So I ended up going up to 48 stitches, which is quite big. Here, let me put it on with all these. This is going to be stupid. And I also haven't shaved my legs. But yay! That was dumb. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you had to see that. But yeah, I haven't cast on the second one yet. And I guess I'll talk about this other thing. So you may have seen briefly on Instagram, but you may also not have, so I'll talk about it. I kind of decided on a whim that I wanted to try embroidery. And it's not something I've ever done before. I've done a little teeny tiny bit of cross stitch, but like that was maybe elementary school. Tiny bit of weaving also in elementary school. So Luke and I went to the Creepy Craft store, and I got a few supplies and decided to give it a try, and I've fallen in love with it. So this is what I had posted on Instagram, which is just my practice thing. I was trying some different techniques. So obviously this isn't like a finished product, it's just a thing of practicing. But I have gotten 2 actual finished embroideries done, and I'm thinking in the future I'd like to do some embroidered bags for the shop. And I've actually got a whole page full of designs all ready to go for that. But, so this was the first one I did. And these are totally like my own design. I did not like buy a pattern or anything. So I did my little skeleton key with all sorts of flowers and like this just really, really simple like frame, I guess. I was just basically trying different techniques and putting them all together. But I'm super happy with the key. And I find this very, very relaxing, and just like, I don't know, there's something really satisfying about it, and really like almost liberating about it for me. I can be I'm definitely a perfectionist with my art and stuff like that, and sometimes it gets in the way. And I've found that for the most part I've been improvising. Like, I'll have sort of a general idea of what I want to do, but I'll make a lot of decisions on the fly, which I generally don't do when I'm painting. And I don't know, it's just been really nice. And then this is my second one, which is a little bee with a flower and some branches. And I love doing these leaves. I don't know if you can see, I used 2 different colors of thread in the leaves, and it sort of gave it an extra bit of dimension. But yeah, I'm really proud of this. So my next one I'm going to be doing is going to be some toadstools, and then I've got a bunch of Halloween ones, and I bought some Halloween fabric to use. But yeah, I'm really excited. I have a denim jacket that I really want to embroider as well, and yeah, and then I think it'll be really nice for some bags. It's something a little different. But yeah, if you've been thinking about trying something like embroidery, you should. It's really fun, and I don't want to say it's not difficult, because some of it is a little bit tricky, and I would have to keep going back and like watching the tutorials, but for the most part, like, it's very meditative, and I mean, it's time consuming. It's not a fast thing to do, but there's something kind of nice about that. So I don't know. Yeah, so that's it for my finished objects. Oh my gosh, I'm already at 27 minutes. What? Okay. Although that is including the part of the beginning where I'm just like posing for my thumbnail. Super class. Let's jump right along into works in progress. Okay, I've got some exciting things to show you. So firstly, oh, I forgot the one thing I wanted to talk about. I'll have to go get it later. Firstly, I've been working along on my some vanilla socks. So here's the front of the sock. Here is the back of the sock with a little heel. The musical episode. This yarn is the Loving Path in her Joy colorway. I don't think she offers that as a real colorway, but it was very nice. It's my colors. It actually matches what I'm wearing almost perfectly. What are the odds? Pretty good, because this is just generally all I wear. So yeah, I've been toting that around with me and getting some work done on it. I really need to get my sock mojo back. I tell ya, I need my sock mojo back. I didn't work. Okay, I'm not gonna show my parachute-y, and that's because I finished the upper back portion and I was getting to the part where you attach it to the front, and I thought I understood what was happening, but I did not understand what was happening, and after many attempts and many failures at getting it to work, I had to put it down because I had to rip back, and I got very frustrated because I dropped a bunch of stitches, and so I had to clean that all up, and then I ended up using the cable for something else, and I need to just let it sit until I can see my friend who's really good at problem solving. Hi, Elena. And she can maybe help me figure out what's happening here. But I have other things to show in the meantime. So I had started knitting the Good sweater by Julie Hoover, and I've made quite a lot of progress. So last time you saw me working on this, I had a bit of the bottom ribbing of the back panel done. I have since finished the entire back panel. Am I showing you the right side? Yeah. Whoa. This yarn is Custom Woolen Mills in the mule spun 1-ply yarn, which is kind of more of a sport weight. So I'm knitting the smallest size, but getting the medium measurements, which is basically what I wanted anyway, but slightly less knitting. So yeah, I will say, okay, I love this yarn. Unfortunately on their website, they don't sell it in skein form. They sell it in 1-pound cones, but right now all they have is the white, and I'm not sure if they're getting it back in stock, so I feel kind of bad like touting it, but why does it look like there's a line? That's weird. Sorry, I think maybe, is that where I changed skeins? No. I don't think so. Maybe it is, and I'm a dum-dum, and I should have alternated it in. Anyway, who cares? It's the back panel. But okay, I will say, sorry, wardrobe malfunction. I will say that I feel like this might be a pretty good dupe for Brooklyn Tweed's Bird Book. Because at the KW Knitters Fair, I was thinking about getting a couple skeins of Brooklyn Tweed just to play around with it, but I was feeling it and I was looking at it and I'm like, well, Bird Book is the color I kind of wanted to go for, but it looks almost exactly like this yarn. And I asked Luke, I'm like they look the same, don't they? And he was like, yeah, they look the same. So I would suggest, if you really like the look of Brooklyn Tweed, but like me, you balk at the price because, oh, it's so expensive. I would say try Custom Woolen Mills because, like, they have like a worsted weight and an Aran weight and bulky and stuff like that as well. But it's got such beautiful like heathered variation. Like, it's really lovely. I can't wait. So I finished the back, no problems. Once I figure out how to read the dang pattern. Once I figure out how to read it, I realized, like, yeah, it is a definitely well-written pattern. And then I have been working away on the front panel. So as you can see, I've gotten quite a bit of that done as well. I have started, sorry, I was just looking at what I was doing. I've started the neckline shaping. So I think this, yeah, the left front I've started working on. And then I'll obviously do the rest of it and then seam it all together once it's been blocked to block the pieces. Okay, and you will notice I have put in a lifeline. And the reason I did that was because there were some things that I was kind of confused about in the neck shaping, and I was worried that I was going to screw it up and have to rip everything out. So what I decided was I would put in the lifeline, and that way, if for whatever reason I could not figure out how to do the V-neck, I could just basically do the back panel a second time and just have it be more of like sort of like a higher like boat neck sort of thing. Kind of like, she has another sweater, I think it's called something like the Hayworth or Hayward or something, but it's kind of similar, but it has like a higher neckline. So I don't think that is where I changed skeins, because I'm pretty sure I just used one skein for this. I don't know. It's fine. Everything is fine. You really can't see it in real life. Yeah, so I've made a lot of progress on this, and I've really enjoyed knitting it. I kind of am like, I'm interested to see what it does when it's blocked and whenever, like, I don't think this is typically the kind of yarn that would go with this pattern that people would choose for this pattern, and I understand, like, why that would be. I really like it, but I can see why maybe some people would be like, that's not the point of this sweater. And I do want to knit it again with maybe like a linen blend. I think that would be really nice, and that's what the original is knit in. So yes, here's the skein that I have, and as you can see, it's very squashy. You get very, very chunky skeins. I want to ask them if they're ever going to sell the skeins on their website, because I would definitely buy that yarn again and knit with it again. I'd love to knit something with a little more, like, texture, I guess. Even just like a seed stitch, I think would look really great with that kind of rustic yarn. And it's not that rough. Like, it's not, like, it's definitely woolly and it's definitely rustic, but it's not, like, scratchy or anything like that. Okay, so here I have my last whip, which is something you've not seen yet, and it's almost done, so that's kind of funny. So Susan of the Knit Lib podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts, it's so funny, whenever I watch Susan's podcasts, I'm always like, I always regret that I don't live there, and like we could go for coffee or something. I'm like, oh man, distance sucks. But anyway, she's having a crop top cow, and I had seen her Mount Pleasant tee, and I was like, oh, I really want that so bad, but I didn't have any yarn for it, and I didn't want to have to go and buy yarn, but I really wanted it. And then I was like, wait, I have 2 bare skeins of my BFL silk base, which is called my herbarium base, if you're wondering, which I had not dyed because I didn't want to do any more avocado yarn yet, and the Queen Anne's lace was starting to dye, and black bean dye was really labor intensive, so I was like, maybe I'll just save it for the next round. But I was like, that's 2 skeins of yarn that I can dye, and I don't have to go and buy new yarn. And Luke was like, that makes sense financially, so I ended up dyeing it up, and I dyed it up into this lovely autumnal shade. Oh, and the Mount Pleasant tee is by Pip and Pin, who also has a podcast, which I also really enjoy. She's so sweet. And let me just hold on, make sure I have the front here. I've been basically knitting obsessively on both of these sweaters, and I've been neglecting a lot of my other projects because of it. But yeah, anyway, so this is the Mount Pleasant tee by Pip and Pin, who is Megan Nodecker. Nautica? I'm so sorry, Megan. But anyway, this is the colorway I dyed up. I think I will make this a regular colorway. I may replace the Apothecary colorway. Not replace, like, it'll just be the Apothecary colorway instead of what it is now, possibly. Or it might be something new. I don't know. But it's, oh, here you can see the colors. They're super rich. This is so cute, okay? It's so cute. And it was a pleasure. It has been a pleasure to knit it. I couldn't stop. I loved watching the colors working up. This is the first time I've started a pair of socks in his most prized Jewel Beetle colorway, but this is like a garment, and I thought, one, I want to have this for Thanksgiving, which, for those of you who do not know, Canadian Thanksgiving is in October, not in November, so I have a little bit less time, but it'll be fine, because all I have left is to do the ribbing on the sleeves and on the neckline. And I'm probably going to do that today once I've done this. And yeah, I knit the large size. So okay, let me talk you through what I've done here. I knit the large size because I wanted to have that more like boxy shape. But it would give me about 8 inches of positive ease, which was a lot of ease, I thought. So I kind of swatched. I knit a few rows, measured them. I was pretty much right on gauge. I figured, you know what? I'm gonna go down a needle size. So there's the lace calls for a smaller needle size, I believe. And I decided to just knit the whole thing in the smaller needle size. And that way I'd kind of get maybe an in-between size. And I can confirm that this fits me pretty much exactly the way I wanted it to, unblocked. So I think it's going to be great, even if I can get a little bit more length out of it. I think if I knit this again, which I think I probably will knit this again, I'd like to do it a little bit longer. And maybe in like a darker color, or my Skeleton Keys colorway, which I think would be pretty. But yeah, super simple lace, super simple construction, but absolutely addictive knit. I learned how to do a 3-needle bind off, which I learned that I really enjoy doing. It's so much fun. I don't know, it's so weird. And I did kind of screw up a little bit. Let me tell you real quick. So on the neckline, you were supposed to bind off a certain number of stitches for the first part of the neckline. And I did that. And then I started working on the first, whichever side it was, the first side of shaping. And I got to the end and I had like 4 or 5 extra stitches. I can't remember. I had a number of stitches. Would have been 6 stitches. I had 6 stitches too many. And I was like, I don't understand why this has happened, but I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'll just get it to be that on the other side, on the back, because it's not too bad. Then I realized what the problem was. I had bound off those first stitches for the small size, or the medium size, rather than the large size. So I didn't bind off enough stitches. So that's why I had extras when I got to that second half of the thing, of the front. And so I ended up, after I knit the other side, I went back and I undid a bunch of rows and just kind of fudged it in there, and I honestly think you can't tell. So everything's fine. It all worked out, and I will have this finished by the next one, finished and blocked, and I'll probably wear it, because why not? Yeah, so I'm really, really pleased with this, and I love the dye job, and I loved this knit. Thank you for this wonderful pattern, Megan. It was lovely. So again, Mount Pleasant tea. If you are into that kind of thing, you should definitely knit this. And I thought it would be really cute I have this really pretty high-waisted black floral skirt that I thought it would look really cute to wear on Halloween or to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Don't you think that would look so cute? With a black skirt at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter? We're going in January. It might be cool enough to even wear it. So yeah, so I think, oh, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about and I forgot it, so let me go get that. Okay. So this is also technically an acquisition, but okay. One of the things that I really want to knit someday is one of those like beautiful cabled Aran sweaters. And as someone who is comfortable with cables but not necessarily in love with them, it's one of those things I'm like, I feel like it's just going to be a necessary evil, or maybe it'll teach me to love cables and then I'll never worry about doing cables ever again, but I don't know. So I decided I wanted to maybe do the Inishturk sweater. It's a free line brand pattern, written for Fisherman's Wool, and boy oh boy did I travel all over the Tri-Cities to find this dang yarn. But I did find it, and I picked up the birch tweed colorway. Now, I only bought one because I figured this way I can decide if I actually like the yarn, and I can just kind of play around with it and swatch it and whatever, which I have done. And this was the swatch I did. It's pretty. And this was the more complicated, so it's the center cable. And it's not too difficult. It's got a bit going on for it, but I just don't know, guys. Like, I think I'm not going to use this colorway. I think that it kind of buries the tweed part of it, kind of buries the cables. And I feel like if I'm going to go through that much trouble to knit this sweater, I'm going to want to see all my hard work, and I want other people to see my hard work. So I think I'm just going to go with their oatmeal colorway instead. Also, sorry, my throat is really hurting. Also, we just watched Practical Magic, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, and Jillian wears this, like, it's a cardigan, but it's like an oatmeal colored massively oversized cardigan, and I'm like, I want that, so I'm gonna knit that. So yeah, but I'm definitely gonna use this. I'm probably gonna knit myself some slippers or something with this. I also just kind of feel like it's tweedy, but like it's really just more hairy. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to look like I'm wearing a hairy sweater. I want it to be really like clean looking, and this is not that. It's beautiful, but not, I don't think, for this cabled sweater. But now I know where it is, and I can go get it when I need it. And also, I would like to point out, if you did not know this, the birch tweed colorway has less yardage than all the other colors. And I don't know if that's because this has acrylic content and rayon content, which I'm assuming is what these little like flecky hairs are. But you only get 348 yards in one of these, and you get like 468 yards or something in every other colorway. And I think that would be the difference between having to use 3 and 4 balls of yarn. So unfortunately, I mean, I'm still spending the exact same amount in a way, because I mean, I still have to buy 3 more balls of this, but whatever. C'est la vie. It's how it goes sometimes. But I would love to knit that, and I feel like that. Oh, and I've been. It's also one of those patterns where it doesn't like give you the whole chart. It gives you all the little charts, and then you're just supposed to like figure out where you are on each cable, even though they're not all the same number of rows. So last night and this morning, I spent a long time charting it all out for the medium size, because I want it to be pretty big. And it's a free pattern, so I don't think this is a problem for me to show you. But it's not done. So what I've done is, as you can see, like, this is the biggest cable, and it is the full 16 rows. And so the other ones all fit into, like, they're, like, divisible, like, into the 16. So that way I can just look across the row and know exactly what I'm doing for every cable. And, but dumb that I am, I messed up my flippin' seed stitch of all the things at the beginning, so it's okay, I'll just use like this chart for the seed stitch, but dang, that was dumb. And I just googled like knitting chart program or knitting chart maker, and it was like the first one that came up. So I will say it was not the best program. I don't know if you can tell, but in the sections where you can see like the blocks for the cables, it wouldn't let me do the small like the little tiny lines in the corner. Let me do the bigger diagonal ones, but not the little ones and the dots. So what I had to do was once I had printed it out and put it together, I then had to go in and draw in those other lines by hand. But I don't actually mind doing that. And now that I've seen it, it doesn't really look that crazy. And I've knit now the big cable, and I knit a swatch of this one. I tore it out, but I did knit this one. So I know how to do all the cables. And then that way I can maybe just focus on like things that I don't know how to do, like the shaping. And like for like the shoulders, it's obviously a seamed sweater. So I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm obviously not knitting it right now or casting it on right now. I don't even have the needles for it, but I'm feeling a little ambitious, and I also feel like maybe this is going to be one of those long-term projects that I don't feel like I have to like zip through. Like I can just do like a few rows or one like half a cable repeat or whatever, like every couple of days, and eventually I'll have this beautiful big sweater. But also, knowing me, I'll get addicted to it and just want the thing done and whatever. So there's that, I suppose. Yeah, so I think that's all the projects I wanted to talk about. So let's move along. Yep, let's move into stuff I bought for knitting. I have acquired some things for knitting besides the Lion brand. So like I said at the beginning, sorry, I also have asthma, which is being exacerbated by allergy season right now. Anyway, like I said, it was KW Knitters Fair this past weekend. Yeah, it was the past weekend. And it was so much fun. I actually preferred it to the Toronto Knitters Frolic. I think next year, I don't think I'm going to go to the Toronto Frolic. I think I'm going to save my money for either the Knitters Fair or Rhinebeck. Yeah, Luke and I want to go to Rhinebeck in 2018. Wouldn't that be so much fun? I think it would be. I love New England. Like, well, I don't think it's technically New England, but like that sort of area, and then maybe we can do another day or two like driving out somewhere else to another state. We did Salem and Boston a couple years ago and just loved it so much. But anyway, so Luke and I went, and then we were joined by my friend Amy later in the afternoon. Hi, Amy! Amy's gonna come onto the podcast sometime. Amy taught me how to purl. Yeah, so we went to the Knitters Fair. It was great. I got to meet Debbie of the Loving Path Yarn in person, and like that girl is my long lost sister. Okay, we're the same. We were basically dressed the same, which was hilarious. And it was just so great. We stood there in the middle of the arena thing, like talking for like half an hour. It was amazing. And yeah, I don't know. It was just so cool. And then I met someone else from Indigo Dragonfly, recognized me from the podcast, which was really cool. Hello to, I don't think you gave me your name, but it was really cool to meet you. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And I got some yarn. Not a lot. I only got 2 things, I know. But I did blow like all of my yarn budget at the Frolic this year, so oh well. The first thing I got is this beautiful skein by Crooked Kitchen Yarns, and she is actually local to me. And here's her tag. It's very like big and whatever, but this is her light fingering. It's a 75-25, 463 yards, 100 grams. So this is the Cleopatra and the Asp colorway, which I saw this skein and like immediately loved it. It was like one of the first things I saw, but I didn't buy it right away. But then I saw the name and I loved it even more. But it has such cute little speckles in there. And it's like the softest blush pink with cream and some yellow. And yeah, so I was really happy when I made my second round and was able to get this. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this. I bought this version, not the 100% merino, because I thought, well, I can make it into socks if I wanted. But then I also thought there's that, I think it's Caitlin Hunter, who did it, the Sunset Highway sweater, which is like a sock weight color work sweater, and it's so cool. And I never knit like really colorful things, and I thought this would be a really cool way to just sort of branch out. So I have a few yarns set aside to potentially do the color work with, and then I would just maybe need to dye up the body skeins. But I thought this would be a really pretty one, and it would be a nice way to feature the yarn, and I would have plenty of leftover that I could do other stuff with, maybe put in a shawl. And I've been like looking at her yarns on Etsy for so long, Crooked Kitchen. And I told her that. I'm like, I have been stalking you forever. Not creepy. Little creepy. But yeah, so anyway, you should check her stuff out because she does some really, really gorgeous colorways. And then this may be one of my favorite skeins I have ever bought in my life, okay? It is just this cream color, okay, worsted weight. It is by Small Flock. I think it's Gaynard Farms. It's called Small Flock Rambouillet Home. You get 250 yards, but it is just so soft and squishy. I kid you not, I will just walk into my office, pick this up, and like put it on my face. Yeah. And they were also selling roving, which I almost bought, but then I decided to just get the yarn. The roving was so soft. It was like touching a cloud. It was so beautiful. I kept going back. I really wish I could have bought a sweater's quantity in this, because I think this would have made a beautiful Aran sweater. Maybe someday. But yeah, they also had a sport weight yarn there. They don't sell the yarns on their website. They only sell their roving, which I was a little disappointed. I also bought one of their hand soaps, it smells so good. I'm not going to bring it in here because it's on a dish in my bathroom, and I may have gotten like hair all over the dish when I was cutting my bangs. Gross. So it doesn't look as pretty as it did when I first bought it, but yeah, look at their cute... Look at the logo, it's so cute. And they're in Dorchester, Ontario, so they're pretty close by. Yeah, so if you ever see these guys, this is from their flock of Rambouillet sheep, and it's just gorgeous. It's just too good. Oh, I want to keep touching it. But yeah, and I have one last acquisition, which is not yarn, but it is sort of knitting related. To me it is, anyway. I've been pulling all my stuff out of this box. My mom found it. It was on the chapter's website. It's, what's the brand? 3 Sprouts. But she's like, Joy, you need this. And I bought the small one, but they did have a big, like, toy chest size one. But look at this box. Holy, look how cute. This is a sheep. And it's like 3D. It's like actually stitched on there. And yeah, it was in like the kids section. It's like a toy box or whatever, but I'm using it to store my projects. And it just keeps my projects nice and neat, and I keep it next to the couch. No, back there. But yeah, so it's just like really nice to have it, and it's really cute and sheepy related, and what else could you ask for, right? Sorry, I'm just gonna put all this stuff away. So that's it for my acquisitions. You know what, I will just breeze through my first knitting, because I think it's kind of funny. So let's call this segment whoops, almost just spoiled that. Let's call this segment Blast from the Past. Okay, real quick. So like I said, I've been knitting for 1 year now. I started knitting as a way to combat anxiety. It was something I'd always wanted to do, but it just seemed like something that would be really relaxing. It would distract my mind from running all over the place, which it has done. It has been a lifesaver. I honestly don't know what I would have done this past year or two without, this past year, not a year or two. I've had stress for more than 1 year, but this past year, because so many of my creative pursuits just were too taxing. They felt too taxing when I was dealing with this anxiety and stress and depression that was related to my job. And, but I was able to keep knitting through all of it, and the knitting just grounded me. And so I'm really happy that I've learned how to do it, and that I've grown as a knitter, and I haven't just been doing the same thing for the whole year. Like, I have improved dramatically. But anyway, so the very first thing I knit was a gigantic orange scarf. This is Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. I think like almost everybody starts knitting with this yarn. But yeah, it's huge. It's almost like too big to wear. I have worn it out occasionally. Sometimes I'll like knot it and wear it like an infinity scarf, or sometimes I'll just wear it like this. It's so big. I worked on this so painstakingly, so slowly, because I had just learned, and I wanted it to be even. I didn't want it to be full of holes. I wanted it to be wearable, so I worked very, very hard on this squishy garter stitch scarf, and I learned how to do it from 2 videos. One was by Sheep and Stitch. It was her like scarf tutorial, and Wool and the Gangs. Mostly Wool and the Gangs. I think I liked their cast on better. I think they were doing the like long tail where Sheep and Stitch was using the backwards loop, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, here it is in all its pumpkin orange glory. I love orange. It's been sort of like a recent thing for me, the orange. So yeah, that was my very first completed project. I think it took like 3 skeins of Thick and Quick. It's very cozy, but not really the kind of thing that I'm into right now. The first hat I knit is this one. It's the Barley hat by Tin Can Knits. I'm sure many of you have knit it. I knit it out of Patton's worsted, classic worsted in the Jade Heather. And I was so worried about it being too small, and now it's like, it's huge. It's like, I'm probably not gonna wear it ever. And it was my first time also using DBNs. Like, it doesn't even want to sit nice. Like, it's just, look at it. What is it doing? Oh my. You can see it. It's a beautiful color. I'd maybe knit a sweater out of this yarn. Great beginner pattern though. It's my first time knitting a hat in the round. I had knit a hat flat and then seamed it, but it was hideous. Like, I threw it out. I never wore it outside. But yeah, so this is a gigantic beanie. It's huge. But it was successful. I was really proud of myself. I started it, I went to my first knit night, and I worked on this hat with my friend Amy. And then, I think this was the first yarn I bought that was like designer yarn, like luxury yarn. It was Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Mill Pond colorway. And, okay, it's just a triangle, like, and it's not even a very functional triangle. It's not super long. And I made so many mistakes. It's very kerchief, like it's not like a full shawl. 1 skein. It's so beautiful, this color though, isn't it? I want this colorway again, and to knit something that's like worthy of it. But like, I wonder if I can find it. Yeah, here. So like, I ended up with like this gigantic hole somehow, and what did I do? I just stitched it up, and like, so like, can you see it with the, you can kind of see it there. This mass, there's a few of those in here. But it's like, you know, you just increase evenly on each side, and I wish that I had done it, you know, more like just a regular like asymmetrical triangle. But I will say, this has gotten a ton of use. I wore this constantly last fall, and yeah, it is really cute actually, now that I'm putting it on again. You know, you get so used to all the pretty shawl designs, but sometimes it's nice to just have something really simple like this. But yeah, so that was my first shawl, I guess you could call it. And again, Mill Pond by Madeline Tosh. Gorgeous. And then my first time using an actual knitting pattern, I knit what many of us knit, the Honey Cowl, which is a free Madeline Tosh colorway, and this was my first time using indie dyed yarn. I don't really count Madeline Tosh as being an indie dyer, just because her stuff is literally everywhere. But this is Flock Fiber, which is a Canadian indie dyer, and this is, it was a Halloween yarn. I bought, oh, I still love the smell of it. I bought 2 skeins of it, and I knit it. I mean, that pattern I'm pretty sure calls for worsted weight. This is fingering weight. It's a BFL sock. But I wanted it to be kind of loose, and I wanted it to be able to be double looped, and I wanted to be able to wear it like this with like my leather jacket, so I look like I was fighting a zombie apocalypse. Oh, I still love it. It's so cool. Doesn't it look neat? I wish I had a jacket. Do I? Hold on. Oh, sorry. This is super... here it is. This is the jacket that I want to embroider. Oh my gosh, I'm over an hour. That's okay, but this isn't my leather jacket, but like... Sup. Gonna go kill some zombies. Okay. Yeah, so I do love this pattern. I probably will eventually knit it again. But yeah, so that was my first time ever knitting from a pattern. I was very excited and very proud of myself. Oh, hi Opie. Hi, did you want to come say hi? Come here. Do you want to come say hi to everybody? Come here. Come say hi. Look who's that. Hey, buddy. You're saying, Mommy, why are you sitting on the floor and not on the couch with me? You're supposed to be snuggling with me. But yeah, so those were my first ever knitting projects. So I feel pretty good about the fact that I have grown so much as a knitter, and it's just really cool to see my progress. And if you ever feel discouraged with your knitting, I would say just go back to those very first projects if you still have them, or just think about them, or look at pictures of them and be like, wow, but I don't knit like that anymore. And if you are just starting knitting and your stuff is still full of holes, or you're still like plugging away at every knit stitch, just know that it's going to get into your muscle memory. You're going to be able to move on to things that are more exciting, and all I can say is just do the things that you're nervous about, because every single thing that I said, I don't think I will ever be able to do that. Lace, cables, color work, sweaters, short rows. I have done all those things. Even knitting in the round, I didn't think I would ever be able to do. That's why, like, I even knit, like, I don't know where they are, but I had a pair of fingerless gloves I had knit flat. Now I'm like, why would I ever do that? What a waste of my life. So socks too are something I never thought I'd be able to do, and I can do them just fine. So just challenge yourself to do the thing is all I can say. But yeah, so I think that's it for the knitting content. So if that's all you came for today, it was great to talk to you. I hope you liked what you saw today. And otherwise, if you want to stick around for my very last segment, I promise I won't talk for too long. That will be my life, etc. Okay, so I have done quite a few things besides the Knitters Fair. Yesterday, Luke and I went out for lunch with our friends, his cousin, Leanne, and her husband, Mark, and their twin boys. I think they're 3 now. And that was really nice. We went out to like an all-day breakfast place and just chatted, and whatever was an excuse to get out. Today I went to the dentist, which was super exciting, and then I went out for lunch with my mom, which was cool, because I don't drive. If you didn't know, I don't drive, so I often rely on other people to drive me places, partially because I'm terrified of the bus system. I don't know, taking the bus in this town like freaks me out. I didn't mind doing it in the other city I lived in, but here I can't do it. But we are getting a train system, and I'm very excited about it. on Saturday we saw It, and it was so good. Like, I haven't been to see a horror movie in the theater since high school, when I used to go all the time to see horror movies, and I was a little bit hesitant about this one. Okay, I've not seen the original It with Tim Curry. I have not read the book. I knew there was a clown. That was basically it. And I didn't want to watch or read anything before seeing this one because I wanted it all to be a surprise, and then I could go back and like watch the thing and maybe read the book. I'm glad I did that because I didn't anticipate like half those things, and it scared me. There was at one point where I'm pretty sure I was hysterically crying, like I was laugh crying hysterically because I was so scared. But and I'm notorious for like closing my eyes when things like jump out or when you know something's gonna happen, but I didn't close my eyes or look away once, okay? I was like glued to the screen. The storytelling was amazing. The way I felt after watching it was the way I felt after listening to the audiobook of Salem's Lot, which was that it made me so want to write a good story. I just wanted to go home and write a good book. And like, I have started a new book, which I'm really excited about, and it's also set in the 80s, which is kind of funny. But I love that sort of like, you know how the 80s and 90s were just such great times for like teen horror and like kiddie horror? Like, I don't know, we were all growing up on Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps and Tales from the Crypt and Hocus Pocus and like, you know, those kinds of movies, and they all have this nostalgia, and even if parts of them are scary, Hocus Pocus is not scary, but like other things have been scary, like for kids. Even though they're scary, like there's something really endearing about them and charming, and I kind of want to try to capture that. So anyway, my new project is set in the 80s, and it is inspired by a house in town here, which is next to a graveyard. It's a beautiful, beautiful house next to a graveyard. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. It is not going to be my NaNoWriMo project. I was hoping to get it done, the first draft done, before NaNoWriMo. Because for NaNoWriMo, I want to write a choose your own adventure, and I wanted to possibly, if I felt good about it, publish it on this the platform. Like, there's a website, and you can publish your choose your own adventures on the website, and I thought it would be kind of fun because then you guys can read something I've written if you're interested. Anyway, that's all a digression. All I wanted to say was that it was very inspiring for me to watch that movie, and I've had nightmares for 2 days. So, I mean, I've lost a lot of sleep. Was it worth it? Yes, I think it was. And then I also had a doctor's appointment, which was not super exciting. I was just getting new meds for my asthma. And, yeah, was there anything else? I think that's it. I've been rewatching Stranger Things in preparation for the new season. Gosh, I love that show. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm just going to leave it there because it's now over an hour and this needs to stop now. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you would like to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on Ravelry as dabblejoy. You can find me on Instagram as Rhineland Story. You can find Cabinet of Curios on Instagram at cabinetof.curios, and of course all that information is in the box below, as well as a link to the Ravelry group. So don't forget to jump in on those giveaways, or that giveaway. I think there's one giveaway that I have technically left, and to post your finished objects in the Stephen Westnitz Cal finished objects thread, which will be going up today. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope you work on projects that excite you, and whether that's knitting or something else, and I hope that you all keep well, and yeah, spend time with people that you care about, and just enjoy yourselves as best as you can. I know there's some crazy stuff going on in the world right now, you know, between political stuff and natural disasters, but just know that I'm sending good vibes to you. All right? Sending them like this through the screen. Do you feel them? Anyway, happy knitting, happy living, over and out.